Happy Tuesday night, guys. I'm gonna try to make this video quick. We'll see how it goes, right? Okay, so I promised several of you that next time I made a pizza for my kids, a single pizza, I would show you guys how I make it. Tonight I'm making pizza. I'm cooking up some ground round right now, which I'm going to use a little bit of that for the topping. The rest of it's going to go for leftover makeovers tomorrow night. So we're having pizza and salad for dinner tonight, and I figured I would turn on the camera and I would show you guys how I make just a single pizza and how easy it is just to make your own homemade crust, guys. It's super easy, okay? So first, I'm going to throw in here a cup and a half of warm water. And then I'm also going to sprinkle in 1 tablespoon of sugar, and I'm going to also be sprinkling in 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. I only use the, is it SAF or SAFE? I think it's SAF brand. I think that's how you pronounce it. I get mine at Gordon Food Service, but you can also get it on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. Took a little whisk and got all that kind of whisked in and happy. Now, dough is funny, okay? It likes to go in a certain order. So now that that's nice and foamy, you see, now I know my yeast is alive and wakening up and happy. We're gonna add our flour on top of this. I only use all-purpose flour for pizza dough. I don't like bread flour for my pizza dough. That's just my own personal thing. So we're going to do 3 cups of all-purpose flour. All right. Now we're going to probably add a little bit more to that, probably 3.5 cups. We'll end up adding another ½ cup to that. That's fine. And then we are also going to be adding, let me get my salt, because we're going to be adding some salt in this. About 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You don't want to skip this part, because if you do, your dough won't taste like anything. And then I'm also going to be adding 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. You do not have to flavor your crust. My kids love it. And then I'm also going to be adding 1 tablespoon of sweet Italian basil. Again, my kids love it. So it's a little over a tablespoon, that's fine too. They will still be happy. And then we're going to do 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. You don't have to be precise. I mean, you know, try to be close, but it doesn't have to be spot on. And then I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to raise you guys up. And then when you do dough with a KitchenAid, you never want to go past a level 2 on your mixer, okay? When you have the dough hook on, never go over a level 2. Man, I see some people cranking their dough hook up to level 10, and I just like, whoo, I start getting sweaty. All right, so never past the level 2, all right? So I'm just going to let that kind of knead up, come together. Get a little dough ball going. I might need to help it along. I know I'm going to need a little extra flour. My kitchen's pretty cold. So we'll see how this comes together, you know, depending on the heat and the temperature and the humidity of your kitchen. It will depend on how your dough comes together. So we're just going to watch this and see what it does. And I'm going to mix my meat. And then I'll be right back. You see how it's kind of sticky? We're going to go ahead and we're just going to sprinkle in a bit more flour. See how that comes together. The more you make dough, the easier it becomes. And then you can really, you just really get an eye for it. And you get a feel for it. What we want is a clean bowl. I mean, that's the goal. We don't want our dough too dry, because that's going to be a tough crust. But we don't want it too sticky and wet either, because then the crust just, I don't think it's good either that way. I'm still a little sticky on the bottom. I'm going to toss in a little bit more flour. When I start seeing that dough ball lift from that bottom of the bowl, that's when I'm going to be happy. It took me a while to get used to making bread and dough, but once you got it, you got it. Don't be afraid of it. And this is so much cheaper than ordering pizza or buying pizza dough at the grocery store. All right, I'm getting real close to what I like. I'm gonna probably start seeing this bowl come clean. We'll see. Oh, it smells so good though. Yeah, it's coming together now. Add a little sprinkle more, and we should be golden. All right, I'm gonna let that knead now. I'm gonna set my timer 5 minutes. I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. All right, guys. So I'm going to take this off of my mixer. And then I'm going to show you the bowl. Okay, let's get this dough out of here. And you can see that my bowl is pretty clean. Okay, and then I'm going to take my rings and stuff off here. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and knead this into a pretty dough ball. But look at that dough. Oh, focus, focus. Look how pretty that is. Now, if you had some mozzarella sticks, the string cheese sticks, you could do a stuffed crust pizza. You just roll it into the crust and fold it over, and then you'll have stuffed crust pizza. I wish I had some. Oh, my kids would have loved that. But all the string cheese that I did have in the fridge, they ate it all. So, all right, so then I'm gonna just kind of form that into a ball, okay? And then I roll it, and there is our dough ball. Okay, so what I do then is I take some olive oil, and I just put some in my bowl. I'm gonna plop my dough ball in. I'm gonna spin it. I'm gonna flip it over. Okay, and then normally now I would put it in my oven because my new range has a proof button, a proofing feature on it where I can proof bread right in the oven. It's perfect temperature. But since I don't have that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exchange my thing there with my utensils, and I'm going to put it right under my under cabinet lighting. The oven is preheating to 500 degrees, which is the temperature that I put my pizza in. So between the heat coming out of the oven here and being under this light, it's going to be exactly what this dough needs. So we're going to let that rise about 30 minutes, sometimes 40. Like I said, my kitchen is very cold today. I think we are right now in the high 40s here in Michigan. But we have like a storm front coming through, so it's pretty cold in here. So I am now just browning up this brown round here. I did add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, garlic, onion. That's about it. So now I'm just browning this, and like I said, I'll use a little bit of this to top the pizza with, and the rest of it's going to go to homemade spaghetti sauce for tomorrow night's dinner. Let me know if you want to see a video on that, because I'll be using my home canned garden tomatoes for that. Leave a comment down below if you want to see that video, and I'll see what it says in the morning. And if majority of you want to see it, I will just throw the camera on tomorrow morning when I make that. But that's where the rest of this is going to go. All right, with that, I will be back in a half hour when this dough has risen, and we're gonna form some pizza. I'm gonna use my brand new KitchenAid pan that I got from the KitchenAid store in Ohio last weekend. I'm super excited. And we're gonna make a nice square deep dish pizza tonight. All right, so I will see you back here in 1 second, but 30 minutes for me. All right, guys, so it has been a half hour, and I'm gonna show you guys my dough. It's beautiful. Okay, hold on, let me take my jewelry back off here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and punch this down. Deflate it. Okay, get it out of here. Put my bowl in the sink, and then train's running by. Then we are just going to roll it out a bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my pan. Now this is a 13 by 18 by 1 inch pan. So 13 by 18. I got this, like I said, at the KitchenAid retail store, the only one that they have. And it is in Ohio. Hopefully, can you guys see that? Hopefully you guys can see that. Oh, I didn't know why it was so dark. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that now. Sorry about that. Like I said, my camera is getting old, and I'm gonna need to replace it soon. But I'm gonna try to use it for as long as I can because it was expensive. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna get this in a pan. I'm gonna try to get this spread out as much as possible so that there's no thin parts. Over here's a little thin for me. So, and if you need to, oil your hands. It's always better to have oily hands than dry hands. You don't want to add any more flour to your pizza crust at this point. Oil is okay if you need to stretch it. If you need help stretching it, just add a little olive oil. All right, so let's see. I want to make sure that I don't have any thinness or rips or tears or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edges now, and I'm just going to pull this up to the edges so we have a little crust. Okay. And then we're going to do, I do have some home canned pizza sauce on my pantry shelf. But sometimes I'm greedy and I like to hold on to that for like when my older boys are here, when we've got company and I want to make like a real good authentic homemade pizza. Tonight it's just the fam, so I'm just going to be doing a bottle of marinara sauce from Aldi. This stuff is really good and relatively inexpensive. So I'm gonna get that, and then first thing I do is I'm just gonna drizzle this a little bit with some olive oil. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and pour some sauce on. Now you make your pizza as little or as saucy as you want. For a pizza this size, I'm gonna be using the whole thing. This is going to be a pretty big pizza. We're going to just take this all the way up to the crust. Okay, then to this we're going to add some cheese, some mozzarella cheese. Spread that on. Okay, from there I'm going to go ahead and add pepperoni to it. Okay, and then from here I'm also going to be adding some lunch meat. This is just uncured honey ham, and everybody likes meat on their pizza here, so I can put this all over the pizza. If you've got kiddos that just like pepperoni and cheese, you can put this on half. and do like an adult side, which is what I usually do. Okay, then on half of the pizza, I am going to do onion. And this will be for Matt, myself, and Eric. Eric will do just the meat side too. But he likes the onions and peppers too, so he'll have a little both. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm just going to put a little bit of sweet peppers on this. Now, no, this is not low carb, but I'm not doing keto. And I really do believe everything in moderation. So you can have pizza and still lose weight. You just can't eat, you know, 2-3 slices. You can have one slice and you can have a salad. And you can have pizza, but you can't have it like, you know, twice a week. You can have it once a month, twice a month. Right? It's all about moderation, right, babe?
That's right.
That's right. So you never feel deprived, right? You never feel deprived. All right, then I'm going to, I love the Sejid spice, pizza spice. So I am going to go ahead and open this up and just sprinkle some seasoning mix on top of this. And then I'm going to take the cheese.
I was hoping.
And I'm just going to sprinkle just a little extra cheese. And the extra cheese, just a little bit, kind of holds all the toppings in.
That way when you take a bite, it doesn't all fall over you.
Right. It just, it's like the glue. It's like a little added extra glue on the top. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit, but that is it. All right, so this is going to go in a 500-degree oven. Now, I've never used this size pan. I've used one similar, but not one quite this big. I didn't have one quite this big, which is why I bought it. So I'm going to watch it. Usually it's 20 minutes for the pizza, 25 minutes. This might be 20-25 minutes. It might be 30 minutes. Oh, wait, I am not done. I forgot to add the hamburger topping. A little bit of hamburger topping. So, here we go.
That's just a meat extravaganza.
It is. Well, it's our dinner, so I kind of beefed it up a little bit. All right, I'm going to do one more spoonful, and then the rest of it is going to go to homemade spaghetti sauce tomorrow night for dinner. I believe I almost forgot that, and I specifically browned it tonight so I could put a little bit on the pizza. All right, so now this is going to go in the oven. Like I said, I will keep an eye on it, and we're going to do it for 20 minutes. And then from there, I will just keep checking it. I'll let you know how long I had to have it in there for. And then I'll bring you back when I pull it out of the oven. Side note, I forgot to add the cornmeal on the bottom to make the crust cornmealy and extra crunchy. Don't forget the cornmeal. Don't do a Heather. Add the cornmeal. Just sprinkle it on the bottom of the pan before you roll out your dough, before you add your dough to it. That's a nice touch. Oh, I'm so angry I forgot the cornmeal. Okay. There is the pizza out of the oven. I did put it under the broiler for about 5 minutes just to kind of char the top burger and a little bit of the onions. Okay, so I'm going to let it sit here for 5 minutes, and then I'll be back to cut it. I just like the cheese to set a little bit before I cut into it. So, all right, I'll be back. I just wanted to show you the finished product. And this is going to be my piece, and then I'm going to have a side salad, but just a small piece of pizza, you know, and just so you can enjoy. You can enjoy it without feeling deprived. You just have to, you know, just have to do things in moderation. So there you go, there you have it. Anyway, Matt is on the phone with his best friend right now. So I'm not going to interrupt him to do a taste test. I'm sorry, I know. But trust me, he's had my pizza 1,000,001 times. And many of you have. I just wanted to show you how I make it when I just do one pizza for the family. And that is it. So there you go. There you have it. There's under the light. I know the lighting in my kitchen is not the best. But yeah, there you have it. All right, if you give it a try, let me know down in the comment section. Report back how you like it. And I'll be seeing you guys.